Good morning, class. I will discuss with you today the basics concerning HR forecasting and job analysis. And our reference in this study is the book Human Resource Management Principles and Practices by Dr. Doris P. Laron. So let me proceed in discussing with you about the HR forecasting. When the right workers are hired for each task in a company, and if the right number of workers are hired, one of its best results is company's efficiency. But the right hires are not guaranteed to stay with a company forever. And if change happens in the future, either inside or outside of the company, the right hires will no longer be as efficient because of the changes. Therefore, forecasting HR needs is very important because the company's efficiency in the future depends on it. The problem is it's not that easy to do. But it needs to be done to maintain good company performance. Sometimes the result of forecasting is a surplus of manpower, and sometimes a shortage. If the result is accurate, then that is really a great accomplishment of the HR department. To have a higher chance that the forecasting result will be accurate, the HR should be familiar with the strengths and weaknesses of the current manpower. The complete manpower data regarding past and present can be used as basis for forecasting future manpower needs. And there are two methods of predicting HR needs or HR demand. The first approach is the quantitative approach. And this is about numerical information and mathematical procedures. Under this approach, there are three procedures. There are three procedures that HR units use. The first is the trend analysis. Next is the ratio analysis. And the third one is the regression analysis. In our on-site class, I will give you more explanation about these three procedures, and I will give you an illustration regarding these procedures in order for you to understand better. The second method in forecasting HR needs is the qualitative approach. This is about predicting future HR needs based on the opinions or the gut feel of some selected members of the organization, and it may include outside experts. This method is somewhat biased because if it is possible that the panel members have a personal agenda or personal interest, they can manipulate the situation just to favor an applicant related to them, which may be targeting a job vacancy. That's why in this approach, they blended the Delphi technique to somehow avoid having a biased decision. In the case of oversupply of manpower, it means there are more workers than jobs. The first action is downsizing. But when a company lays off workers, it is possible to end up in legal disputes. So if the company wants to avoid legal disputes, then these are the other options. Suspend hiring. Set limits to overtime. Avoid contingent workers. Early retirement. Reduce pay. Job sharing. Offer career breaks like study leaves. In the case of undersupply of manpower, it means that there are more jobs than workers. The first action is hire additional employees. And these are the other options. Encourage overtime. Create another work shift. Job reassignment. And strengthen retention program. Let us now proceed to discussing the job analysis. Job analysis is the process of collecting, interpreting, and keeping records about the requirements of a job and the conditions in which jobs are performed. It is an HRM procedure that analyzes the requirements of the job and not the person. It is not an employee analysis, but it is job analysis. It is an HRM practice that involves collecting of data about the details of the job relating to duties, job requirements necessary to carry out these duties, and the traits and attributes of the person needed to accomplish the work favorably. Data gathered from the job analysis will serve as basis in developing these two important job analysis outcomes. Dr. Lauron stated in her book that the data gathered from the job analysis will serve as basis in developing these two important job analysis outcomes. The first one is the job description, and the second one is the job specification. The job description is a job related document that shows the duties and responsibilities attached to the job position. It further indicates how the worker will do the job and the job's working conditions. The job specification, it shows the specific qualifications and individual characteristics expected to match the job requirements. Concerning the important components of job analysis, a complete job analysis should provide the following. This is based on the book of Dr. Laurent. A complete job analysis should provide the following. Number one, job content. And this shows the actual duties of the worker, how he or she performs the job, and the facilities, materials, and devices to be used in performing the job. The job analyst may also collect further information about the job and might include performance standards and possible training and development required by the job. The number two is the job context. This is about the conditions or the environment where the job is performed. It is also specifies the demands such work requires the employee to do. Some other kinds of job context data may include environmental conditions, technologies, structure of relationships, level of autonomy, and the physical demands of the job on the employee. Number three is the worker requirements. These are qualifications that are considered by the employer as vital to the successful execution of the job. This refers to the knowledge, skill, ability, personal characteristics, and credentials needed for effective job performance. And these are the knowledge, skill, ability, personal characteristics, and credentials. Knowledge is about the intelligence and understanding of a specialized discipline acquired through formal education and actual experience. Skill is about the potential capability of a worker to carry out a particular job, such as decision making skill, people skill, and cognitive skill. The ability is a capacity or competence that allows an individual to do a specific kind of work. Some examples are ability to work under pressure and ability to manage time. The personal characteristics, although skills are necessary, most employers will choose an individual who possess good personal qualities such as reliability, trustworthiness, and flexibility. Credentials are the pieces of evidence that will prove a person's identity or background that will indicate his or her fitness for the job, like scholastic records, employment certification, and other relevant documents. And this is where the discussion ends. And as usual, you need to take the quiz in your iConnect.